In the heart of the Middle East lies a land where empires clashed and civilizations left their legacies carved in stone. Here, the ancient Ammonites rose to power, bound by blood, yet divided by faith. In an age-old conflict, they stood as bitter antagonists to the children of Israel. Join us on an extraordinary journey through time as we explore this ancient land, its sacred biblical sites, and the wonders of the world. Together, we'll uncover its magnificent history, vibrant culture, and the events that have shaped the world. This is the story of Jordan. Officially known as the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, the modern state was established in 1946, following the end of British rule. It is led by King Abdullah II, a member of the Hashemite dynasty, which traces its lineage directly to the last prophet, Muhammad. Today, Jordan stands as a stable and progressive nation, with its capital, Amman. A city built on 7 hills, much like Rome, Amman's past is layered with history. Once a Neolithic settlement, it became Rabbah Ammon, the stronghold and capital of the ancient Ammonites. In this episode, we uncover its past and its deep connection to the Bible. In the heart of the old city, perched on one of Amman's highest hills, stands the Amman Citadel, undoubtedly the city's most important historic landmark. This extraordinary site has been a center of civilization for thousands of years and was once the capital of the Ammonites, a people frequently mentioned in various biblical events. The earliest evidence of human habitation on the Amman Citadel traces back to the early Bronze Age, around 3000 BC. Archaeological findings such as pottery, tools, and remnants of early structures suggest that the site was used as a settlement and possibly a fortified area. The Ammonites are described in the Bible as descendants of Lot, the nephew of Abraham. According to the biblical account in Genesis 19, after the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot and his daughters fled to the mountains. The elder daughter devised a plan and convinced her younger sister to join her in an act. Over 2 consecutive nights, they intoxicated their father with wine, and in his unaware state, each conceived a child with him. The elder daughter gave birth to Moab, who became the ancestor of the Moabites, a people who would later inhabit the lands east of the Dead Sea. The younger daughter gave birth to Ben-Ami, who became the ancestor of the Ammonites, who would later settle in the region previously known as the land of the Zamzummim. The Bible states that the Zamzummim were a race of giants who occupied the land before God destroyed them, allowing the Ammonites to take over their land. Although the Ammonites were descendants of Lot, a righteous man and follower of the one true God, over generations, they, like their Moabite relatives, gradually adopted the polytheistic beliefs of the surrounding Canaanite and Mesopotamian cultures. They turned to the worship of multiple gods, with Milkom as their primary deity. Milkom was not a god of mercy, but one who demanded absolute devotion through fire and blood. At the core of their worship lay a ritual shrouded in mystery and terror. Ancient texts suggest that their devotion to Milkom demanded burnt offerings, grains, livestock, and in its most horrific form, child sacrifices. It was a price paid in blood, an offering meant to secure divine favor and the survival of their kingdom. This shift in belief may have been driven by their desire for political and military power, as well as their efforts to establish a distinct national identity separate from the Israelites. In 1961, during archaeological excavations at the Amman Citadel, a stone tablet inscribed in the Ammonite language and dating back to the 9th century BC was discovered. Now known as the Amman Citadel inscription, This fragment holds the first known reference to Milkom, making it a unique and invaluable piece of world heritage. Yet, bound by blood through Lot, Abraham's nephew, for centuries the Ammonites were among the Israelites' most relentless antagonists. Their shared ancestry did not bring peace, rather it ignited generations of war and conflict. When Moses led the Israelites toward the Promised Land, the Ammonites refused them passage, marking the beginning of a long and hostile relationship. Generations later, during the time of the Judges, the Ammonites oppressed the Israelites, until Jephthah, the mighty warrior and judge of Israel, defeated them. In the era of King Saul, the Ammonite king Nahash besieged Jabesh-Gilead, only to be crushed by Saul's forces. Yet, it was during King David's reign that their rivalry reached its peak. When the Ammonites humiliated David's envoys, war erupted. Joab led the Israelite army against Rabbah Ammon, and after a brutal siege, the city fell. It was here, in this very place, that King David orchestrated the death of Uriah the Hittite, an elite soldier, sending him to the front lines to cover his adultery with his wife, Bathsheba, the woman who would later give birth to Solomon, the king who would lead the Israelites into their golden age. On the other hand, King Solomon's relationship with the Ammonites was one of diplomacy rather than war. He married Naamah, an Ammonite royal, who became the mother of his heir, Rehoboam. However, Solomon's ties to the Ammonites came at a great cost. The Bible states that in his later years, Solomon, once a king known for wisdom and faith, turned away from exclusive devotion to the one true God. Influenced by the foreign wives he had taken, Solomon built high places for Milkom and other deities. This act of idolatry angered God, leading to the prophecy that his kingdom would be divided after his death. The kingdom of Judah, the southern kingdom, would be ruled by his son, Rehoboam, while the kingdom of Israel, the northern kingdom, would be ruled by Jeroboam, one of his former officials. As history unfolded with the expansion of great empires, Ammon was conquered by the Assyrians, Babylonians, and Persians. Over time, as these empires absorbed their lands, the Ammonites gradually faded as a distinct nation. The arrival of the Hellenistic period brought a new identity to the city, which was renamed Philadelphia in honor of Ptolemy II Philadelphus, a ruler known for promoting Greek culture throughout the region as part of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt. Later, when the region fell under Roman control, the name Philadelphia continued to be used, and the city became an important part of the Roman province of Arabia, with grand temples and public buildings constructed, remnants of which can still be seen today. The most striking of these ruins on the Amman Citadel is the Temple of Hercules. Built during the reign of Emperor Marcus Aurelius in the 2nd century AD, this once majestic structure was dedicated to the mythological hero renowned for his legendary strength. The temple rose from a podium measuring 43 by 27 meters, dominating the city's landscape. Towering Corinthian columns once stood at its entrance, showcasing Roman architectural mastery. Of these, 2 partially restored columns, standing at 13.5 meters tall, now help visitors visualize the temple's original scale and grandeur. Perhaps the most mysterious remnant of this temple is not its columns, but the massive hand and forearm discovered among the ruins, believed to be part of a colossal statue of Hercules. Estimated to have stood 13 meters tall, it would have been one of the largest statues of a god in the ancient world. These measurements suggest that the temple itself may have rivaled some of the grandest in ancient Rome. During the Byzantine era, a church was built on the site, marking the spread of Christianity. With the arrival of Islam in the 7th century, the Umayyads reshaped the citadel once more, constructing a grand palace and a mosque, and the ancient name, Amman, was restored. Today, the old city is the historic and commercial heart, established as a key trading hub during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It grew with waves of settlers who helped shape its early character. Today, its streets are filled with bustling souks, traditional coffee houses, and family-run shops selling everything from spices and textiles, antiques and gold. Al-Balad, as locals call it, is known for its rich aromas. The area is home to legendary eateries like Hashem Restaurant, famous for its simple yet iconic falafel and hummus, where locals and visitors alike gather to taste what is probably the best falafel in the world. A prominent landmark in the Old City is the Grand Husseini Mosque, one of the oldest mosques in Jordan. Rebuilt by King Abdullah I in 1924, it stands on the same site where the original mosque was established by the second Caliph Omar bin al-Khattab around 640 AD. The mosque was named in honor of Sharif Hussein bin Ali, leader of the Arab revolt against the Ottoman Empire and founder of the Hashemite dynasty. It was built to commemorate his legacy and his role in the Arab independence movement. Not far from the souk in the heart of the old city stands the Roman Theatre, a magnificent remnant of Roman Philadelphia. Built in the 2nd century AD during the reign of Emperor Antoninus Pius, this grand structure once accommodated up to 6,000 spectators. Designed in a typical Greco-Roman style, the theatre is carved into the northern hillside to provide shade for the audience and enhance acoustics. It was divided into 3 seating sections. The lower rows were reserved for high-ranking officials, the middle for the military, and the uppermost tier for the general public. With its impressive stone seating and intricate architectural details, the theatre stands as a remarkable testament to Roman engineering and culture. Once the heart of the Ammonite kingdom, Amman has been shaped by centuries of conquests and civilizations, each leaving its mark on the city's landscape. From its ancient ruins to its lively streets and modern skyline, it stands as one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. In the upcoming videos, we will continue exploring biblical sites, fascinating history, and mysterious places. Be sure to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next episodes as we uncover Jordan's rich history.